Welcome back to the channel Rare Coins Collections, where we explore some of the most intriguing and valuable coins in the world. Today, we have something really special for you, a coin that's probably been lying around in your spare change without you even knowing its potential worth. I'm talking about the 1972 Jefferson Nickel. Now, at first glance, this might seem like just another common nickel, but trust me, you'll want to stick around to learn why this particular coin could be worth far more than just 5 cents. The Jefferson nickel has been a part of American coinage since 1938, and the design, featuring the portrait of President Thomas Jefferson, is one of the most recognized in U.S. history. On the reverse side, you'll find an image of Jefferson's home, Monticello, which is an iconic symbol of American heritage. But here's the thing. While the 1972 Jefferson nickel might look pretty standard, there's a lot more to this coin than meets the eye. It's all about rarity, minting errors, and the condition of the coin. Now, let's talk about the production of the 1972 Jefferson nickel. Like many coins from this era, it was minted in large quantities and circulated widely. The 1972 version of the nickel was made from a mixture of copper and nickel and was struck in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. For most people, this would be just another coin to toss in their pocket or jar of loose change. But for collectors, there are some subtle details that could turn this seemingly average coin into a valuable treasure. One of the key factors that makes the 1972 Jefferson nickel stand out is the potential for minting errors. Minting errors are among the most exciting discoveries for coin collectors because they can turn an ordinary coin into something extremely rare and valuable. And the 1972 Jefferson nickel has a few errors that can make it worth a small fortune. One of the most sought-after errors for the 1972 Jefferson nickel is the double die error. This occurs when the coin's design is struck more than once, causing a slight overlap or doubling of the image on the coin. This error is often most noticeable on the date, the word liberty, or in God we trust. If you come across a 1972 Jefferson nickel with a noticeable doubling effect, it could be worth far more than you might expect. These double die errors are rare, and collectors are always on the lookout for them because they make the coin stand out in a way that's both interesting and valuable. Another interesting error to look out for is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin isn't properly aligned during the minting process, causing part of the coin to be struck off-center. For example, if you find a 1972 Jefferson nickel where part of the Monticello building or Jefferson's portrait is missing or shifted off the edge, then you have a coin that's even rarer and more valuable. Off-center strikes are unique because no two are ever exactly the same, and they're highly prized by collectors for their distinctiveness. And then there's the condition of the coin, which is crucial when it comes to determining its value. As with any coin, the better the condition, the higher the price it can fetch. A 1972 Jefferson nickel that has been well preserved, without any wear, scratches, or discoloration, will be far more valuable than one that's been circulating for decades. Coins in uncirculated or mint state condition are particularly prized because they retain all of their original detail and shine, making them highly sought after by serious collectors. Now, let's get to the exciting part. Just how much could the 1972 Jefferson nickel be worth? While most 1972 nickels are only worth 5 cents, certain errors or coins in pristine condition can fetch a pretty penny, pun intended. A rare 1972 Jefferson nickel with a minting error or one that's been carefully preserved can be worth as much as $52,500. Yes, you heard that right, $52,500 for a single 5-cent coin. If you think about it, this is a perfect example of how something that seems so common can actually be incredibly valuable in the right circumstances. A coin that you might pass by in your daily life could be a hidden gem, just waiting to be discovered. So, if you have any 1972 Jefferson nickels lying around, it's definitely worth taking a closer look. Inspect the coin carefully for any errors like doubling or off-center strikes, and make sure to check the condition. If you find a well-preserved, error-free coin, you could be looking at a collector's dream. As always, coin collecting is an exciting and rewarding hobby, and the 1972 Jefferson nickel is just one example of how a simple coin can become an extraordinary treasure. Today, we have an exciting find that could very well be hiding in your pocket change, a coin that might look simple at first glance, but could actually be worth a small fortune. I'm talking about the 1973 Jefferson Nickel. You might think, it's just another nickel, but trust me, this little 5-cent coin has the potential to fetch an incredible amount of money, far more than its modest face value suggests. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why the 1973 Jefferson Nickel could be your ticket to a nice payday. Now, the Jefferson Nickel has been a staple of American currency since 1938, and over the years, its design has become iconic. On the obverse, we see the profile of President Thomas Jefferson, designed by the talented Victor David Brenner. The reverse side features an image of Jefferson's Virginia home, Monticello, a symbol of American heritage and pride. It's a beautiful coin, no doubt, but let's dig deeper because, as coin collectors know, it's not just about the looks, it's about rarity, minting errors, and condition. The 1973 Jefferson Nickel, like other coins of its time, was produced in high numbers and circulated widely. So, why should you care about this particular year? Well, it turns out that not all 1973 Jefferson Nickels are created equal. In fact, some of them carry certain errors or features that can make them incredibly rare and, as a result, quite valuable to collectors. And that's where things start to get interesting. Point 1 of the most valuable traits for a 1973 Jefferson Nickel is the potential for minting errors. If you're not familiar with minting errors, let me explain. During the coin production process, mistakes can happen. These mistakes result in coins that look different from the standard issue, and these error coins are highly prized by collectors. A slight misalignment, a double die, or an off-center strike can make a coin worth much more than its original face value. And when it comes to the 1973 Jefferson Nickel, a number of these types of errors can drastically increase its value. Let's start with one of the most exciting errors for collectors, the double die error. This happens when the die used to strike the coin gets misaligned, and the design ends up being pressed onto the coin more than once. The result? A coin with a doubling effect on the letters, numbers, and even the portrait of Jefferson. For a 1973 nickel, you might notice that the date or the word Liberty appears doubled, which is a clear sign that you have a rare coin. These double die errors are among the most sought after in the coin world because they are distinct and unique. If you find one, you're holding on to something much more valuable than just a 5-cent piece. Another valuable minting error for the 1973 Jefferson Nickel is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not aligned properly in the minting press, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted to one side. If you find a 1973 nickel with a portion of the image of Jefferson or Monticello cut off, that's a serious find. Off-center coins are rare because they happen by chance, and no two are ever exactly alike. Collectors love these coins because they are one-of-a-kind and stand out from the rest of the regular issue coins. Of course, condition plays a huge role in the value of any coin, and the 1973 Jefferson Nickel is no exception. While many of these coins were used in everyday transactions, a small number of them survived in pristine condition. If you happen to have a 1973 nickel that has been well preserved, with no wear, scratches, or discoloration, you could have a truly valuable coin on your hands. Coins in excellent condition, especially ones that have never been circulated, are worth far more to collectors because they retain all the intricate details of the design. But here's the exciting part: how much is a 1973 Jefferson Nickel actually worth? Well, you might be surprised to learn that this seemingly common coin can fetch a whopping $50,000 if it has a rare minting error or is in impeccable condition. Yes, you heard that right, $50,000 for a single 5-cent coin. Imagine going through your old change or your coin collection and discovering that you've got a 1973 nickel that's worth thousands of dollars. It's a collector's dream, and it can happen to anyone who knows what to look for. Whether it's the double die error, an off-center strike, or just an incredibly well-preserved specimen, the 1973 Jefferson Nickel has the potential to be a real treasure. So, if you've got a jar full of nickels, or maybe you're sorting through coins you've picked up along the way, take a moment to examine any 1973 Jefferson Nickels you find. Look for signs of doubling, misalignments, or unique features that set the coin apart from the rest. And don't forget to check the condition. if you've got a pristine, uncirculated coin, you could be holding onto a rare gem. That's all for today's deep dive into the world of the 1973 Jefferson Nickel. Today, we've got a coin that may seem ordinary at first, but trust me, there's more to it than meets the eye. I'm talking about the 1990 Jefferson Nickel, a coin that could be hiding right under your nose and might just be worth a small fortune. Stick around until the end of the video to find out why this 5-cent piece might be worth so much more than you thought. The Jefferson Nickel, first minted in 1938, has been an essential part of American currency for over 80 years. The design features the profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, on the obverse. The reverse displays Monticello, his famous Virginia estate. This timeless design has been a staple of U.S. coinage, but today, we're focusing on the 1990 version of this iconic coin. You might be wondering, what makes a 1990 Jefferson Nickel stand out among all the others? Well, here's where things get interesting. At first glance, this nickel may look like just another regular coin that circulated in the 90s. But for collectors, there's more to it than just its design. The key to its value lies in its rarity, minting errors, and the condition of the coin. Minting errors are one of the most exciting things that can happen to a coin, and the 1990 Jefferson Nickel has some special features that make it highly sought after. Coin collectors absolutely love finding coins with minting errors because they are unique, and some of them can make a coin worth thousands of dollars. One of the most common errors in the 1990 Jefferson Nickel is the double die error. This occurs when the coin's design is struck more than once during the minting process. When this happens, the image appears doubled or shifted. In the case of the 1990 Jefferson Nickel, you might see doubling on the date, the word liberty, or even the motto, "In God We Trust." This kind of error is highly desirable among collectors because it makes the coin stand out and adds a level of rarity that can significantly boost its value. Another valuable error is the off-center strike. An off-center strike happens when the coin is not properly aligned in the minting press, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted to the side. If you have a 1990 Jefferson Nickel that's missing part of Jefferson's portrait or the Monticello building, it could be worth much more than a regular nickel. Off-center coins are incredibly rare and add a distinct uniqueness to any collection. No two off-center strikes are the same, so they become especially valuable to collectors looking for something truly one-of-a-kind. You might also find some 1990 Jefferson Nickels with a clipped planchet. This error happens when a blank metal disc, also known as a planchet, is improperly cut, leading to a coin with part of the edge missing. These coins are highly collectible because they have a unique look that's different from your typical, well-formed coin. A clipped planchet can make a 1990 Jefferson Nickel extremely rare and sought after, but there's more to the value of this coin than just errors. The condition of a coin plays a huge role in determining its worth. For any coin, the better the condition, the higher the value, and the 1990 Jefferson Nickel is no exception. If you happen to come across a 1990 nickel that's been carefully preserved, with no signs of wear, scratches, or discoloration, you could be holding onto a coin that is worth far more than its face value. A coin in mint state, or one that has been kept in pristine condition, is far more valuable to collectors. Now, let's talk about the most exciting part. How much could a 1990 Jefferson Nickel be worth? While most 1990 nickels are worth just 5 cents, the ones with rare minting errors or in excellent condition can be worth a shocking amount. If you find a 1990 Jefferson Nickel with a double die error, off-center strike, or in exceptional condition, it could be worth as much as $44,000. Yes, you heard me right, $44,000 for a single 5-cent coin. Imagine going through your coin jar or rummaging through loose change and discovering that a simple 1990 nickel is worth thousands of dollars. That's the exciting world of coin collecting. It's all about knowing what to look for, spotting those rare minting errors, and paying attention to the condition of the coin. You never know when you might stumble upon a hidden treasure, so, if you have any 1990 Jefferson Nickels in your collection or in your change jar, now is the perfect time to take a closer look. Look for signs of minting errors like double dies, off-center strikes, or clipped planchets. And remember, if the coin is in mint condition, it could be worth a significant amount more than you think. That's all for today's video on the 1990 Jefferson Nickel. If you enjoyed this video and want to stay updated on more exciting coin finds, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new discovery. Coin collecting is a thrilling hobby, and who knows, your next big treasure could be just a coin flip away. Thanks for watching, and good luck on your treasure hunt.